Great to see how many people are here and around um, the country. I'm going to go ahead and get started. As I mentioned, as you join in, please continue to introduce yourself within the chat. Good afternoon or good morning, everyone. Welcome to your roadmap to Giving Tuesday 2025 success. I'm really excited to talk through Giving Tuesday with you, even though it's July, which seems early, but the perfect time to get started on organizing and starting your Giving Tuesday campaign. My name is Lisa Galprin. I am the Marketing and Communications Manager here at Mighty Cause. Just a couple of housekeeping things before we begin. If there are any questions that come through, I'll be keeping track of the chat for any questions, but if you could use the Zoom questions tool, that's the easiest way for me to see questions pop up. But otherwise, I'll try to stop and check the chat. I'll save some dedicated time at the end for questions, but I'll also periodically stop and also answer some questions. All right, so what will we be covering today? So we're going to be talking about why participating in Giving Tuesday matters, looking back at 2024 results, how to build your Giving Tuesday roadmap, some Giving Tuesday strategies, how to spread the word about your Giving Tuesday campaign, and then closing the loop on your campaign as well. Before we dive into Giving Tuesday, just a little introduction about Mighty Cause for those of you who are unfamiliar with Mighty Cause. This might be your first webinar with us. We've been in the nonprofit space for quite a while. We've been in the nonprofit space since 2006. We host our own Giving Tuesday event, which I'll talk about in a second, but we're also a year-round fundraising platform. We provide different tools and features that you can utilize day to day or for specific event campaigns. And we'll talk about some of those tools that we have available on the platform. As well, I should mention, we're also one of the biggest technology providers in the country for different fundraising events, such as North Texas Giving Day, Colorado Gives, Give Minnesota, etc. So you may be familiar with Mighty Cause because you have participated in one of those giving events that we provide the technology for. All right, let's talk about why is Giving Tuesday, why participate in Giving Tuesday with Mighty Cause, but also why does Giving Tuesday matter? So Giving Tuesday started back in 2012, and it was created as a response to Black Friday, Cyber Monday. It was a response to kind of the emphasis on consumer goods and focusing it on doing something good in your community and around the world. It's a day that's built to give. So that's why it's one of the biggest giving days in the year for nonprofits. And it also provides one of the highest volume days for charitable giving in the United States. So this year, Giving Tuesday is on December 2nd. So we host our own Giving Tuesday event that you can register for and participate in. Early giving, so when donors can start donating to your organization, starts November 18th. And it all goes into December 2nd, as I mentioned. Registration is currently open. It is live today. So what do you get by joining our Giving Tuesday event? So you have access to all of the tools and features that are available on Mighty Cause, including our peer-to-peer fundraising, live matching grants, our contact CRM tool. You'll have access to our free live trainings and webinars, customer support, all of our resources, our downloadable ebooks and checklists, etc. And also an opportunity to win prizes. Last year, we gave over $20,000 in prizes to nonprofits who participated in Giving Tuesday on Mighty Cause. I should add that if you are participating in a giving event that is hosted by one of the events that Mighty Cause provides the technology for, Colorado Gives, etc., you do not need to register for our event. You can participate in their event Not to confuse yourself, just need to, if for a Mighty Cause platform, you can just participate in one Giving Tuesday event. So, as I mentioned, some of the features that you will have access to for free is integrations with Google Analytics and Zapier, uh, our volunteer posting tool called Opportunities, our embeddable donation form, built-in donor management CRM tool, contacts, text to give, and much more. I see a message in the chat. What are those key dates again? Yeah, I can quickly go back and just talk that through. So registration is open now, and registration will be open for a couple of months. It'll probably close to November, but December 2nd is when Giving Tuesday is, and early giving starts November 18th and goes on for 2 weeks. So how to register. So you can go to givingtuesday.mightycause.com and then you'll see a big registration button. The registration process is comprised of two different steps. So the first step is filling out the registration form. It's very short. It should take you just a couple of minutes to complete. Once you are completed your registration, you'll then get added as an administrator. That may take 1 or 2 days for our team to verify. If you haven't used the Mighty Cause platform before, we verify every new admin that is on our platform. Once you have access to your organization page, you'll then be able to complete your to-do list that you see a screenshot here, which are just super simple action items as you see, putting in the logo, setting up your direct deposit, which also should not take a lot of time, but we also have a support article available to guide you through all of those steps. All right. Yes, I can put the registration link. I can put in the registration link. Yes, thank you, Donna, for adding that in. Um, all right, so let's do a quick look back into Giving Tuesday 2024 and just some results from across the board. So these are stats from Giving Tuesday Commons. So $3.4 billion was raised in the US alone for Giving Tuesday 2024, which was a 16% increase than the previous year. And they saw that over 36 million US adults participated in last year's Giving Tuesday, which I accidentally have decreased, but it is an increase. It was a 7% increase from 2023. Um, as well, according to M&R benchmarks, 40% of online revenue is received in the final month of the year. And as I mentioned, Giving Tuesday this year does fall on December 2nd, so it makes it even a more pivotal day for giving. Last year on Mighty Cause, we saw over $90 million raised across our platform for Giving Tuesday. And one interesting stat that I pulled was that we saw a 29% increase in the average donation amount. So, what does that mean to you as a nonprofit that's looking to participate in Giving Tuesday? Well, it means that donors are ready to give when asked clearly, and small nonprofits can succeed when they plan ahead, like we are doing now. And we'll talk a little bit more about this, but storytelling and targeted outreach is an essential component to Giving Tuesday. And Giving Tuesday can build momentum for your year-end fundraising. Um, as I mentioned, with December being such a pivotal month for nonprofits, combining your year-end fundraising campaign with Giving Tuesday is something that can go a long way. So building your roadmap, where do we begin with Giving Tuesday? Because there's a lot of places we can start. I think whenever I talk about starting a fundraising campaign, I always like to talk about first determining your priorities. What are your goals? So you want to analyze your donation data to see where is your nonprofit at currently during this time of the year, right? If you have set a goal for 2024, Are you currently heading towards that goal, or do you need to make up a lot? What are you trying to accomplish for your Giving Tuesday campaign? So you want to identify development priorities such as donor retention, acquisition, recurring giving, engaging partnerships. And it might not be all of these things, it could be just one of them. And maybe collect also some feedback from your staff, your team, your donors in terms of what has worked in the past and what has not, or what do they see as a priority for your nonprofit. Something that we have available on the Mighty Cause platform, if you have utilized Mighty Cause before, is we have a donor retention report. So you can actually pull up this year to date, how many of your donors donated last year have not come back again this year so far. If you're new to Mighty Cause, if this is going to be your first time utilizing it, this is something that you can utilize in the future. If you're returning nonprofit, this is something I definitely recommend utilizing to see where you are at currently in the year. So, as we talk about our priorities and goal setting, what exactly are those numerical goals? What amount are you looking to raise in 2025? How much do you need to raise then per month or per week to reach that goal? I will take a look at your last year's data. How much did you raise? What was your goal? Was that a realistic goal for your nonprofit? Does that make sense for your nonprofit this year? And as well, there could be even non-monetary goals that you want to consider. And maybe that's increasing your social media followers, creating a peer-to-peer fundraising campaign. I think setting your goals for what your Giving Tuesday campaign will be will help set you up for success, because that will then define the type of strategies that you want to implement for Giving Tuesday. And as well, when you're thinking about your Giving Tuesday campaign and what you're going to try to say, what is the focus of your campaign? What are you fundraising for? I think having a clear focus area then makes your communication and what you're asking donors for much more powerful. So allow this focus to carry throughout your campaign. So in your email, social media, donation page, thank you experience, follow up. If you have a clear focus to your campaign or a clear story, that's going to help translate in all of your communication. And we'll talk about what does that exactly look like. So what we've learned from great campaigns, and there's four, I would say, buckets to think about. So relevance. Why does your work matter in the current moment? So maybe there is, you provide goods for relief work, or you have a program that you are raising money for that you want to get started by 2026 so that you can feed or provide education for X amount of students. What is the relevance to your campaign this year? Authenticity, examples of the challenge and how you are responding to it. We are providing X amount of backpack for students in need. Here are some stories of how the impact that we've made in different schools by providing these backpacks. These students don't have enough funds for these, and that's why we're providing these backpacks for them, just as an example. Urgency, we can't do it without you, again, and that goes in hand with setting your goal of exactly what are you trying to accomplish, and creativity, standing out to show your unique value. When talking about Giving Tuesday, I also like to kind of set this challenge or for yourself of what I think is helpful is first defining what is your key message as a nonprofit in 2025. And again, that also goes into what your goal in 2025 is. These messages they're going to be your starting point for your communication, and they're going to be kind of a high level. What is your mission? What is your vision for your work? What do you want to do in 2025? And so they're going to act like a thread that runs through all of your communication about your nonprofit. So as an example, for my imaginary Lisa's food pantry key message, one of my key messages is natural disasters hit the most undeserved people in our community the hardest. We are committed to helping them make it through. So how do we drill that down for Giving Tuesday? That goes into what are you trying to achieve? Your top level key message is going to get filtered through, and you're going to speak to exactly what you're trying to raise for Giving Tuesday. So from that kind of overview key message, we have three key messages for a Giving Tuesday campaign. We are raising $10,000 so we can afford to expand our food pantry's physical space and feed even more people in our community. There's increased need for our services in the community, and we must grow to meet the need. We want to provide 50,000 meals by the end of 2025, and this campaign will set us up to do that. So I want to do a little challenge with everyone, and I want you to answer these questions in a brief sentence, if possible, maybe two. But how would you answer these questions if a child was asking you these? I think that's the best way of kind of making your answer super simple and easy. I'm going to put 2 minutes on the clock, and once you're done, if you want to put your answers in the chat, and I'll go through some of them, and everyone else can see kind of get an ideas or brainstorm from that. But I'm just going to put 2 minutes on the clock now. And if you want to go ahead and just practice putting what your response is to these questions. These slides will be sent out with a recording and a follow-up email. Okay. I want to see a couple of these answers. Donations, missed it. Where are we? Wow, so many. That's so awesome to see. We promote Asian American awareness through education. I love the simplicity. We provide mentorship to undeserved youth in the greater Puget Sound region. We help people with HIV get treatment and access housing. Awesome. Your donation will allow us to grow in each of our programs for each of our programs and increase the impact to our community. Awesome. I love, again, I think the simpler the message, the easier it comes across to donors, and the quicker it comes across to donors. So a couple of talking points when you're also thinking about your communication is gathering some specific facts, figures, or stats regarding your nonprofit. So including some basic info about history, the work of your org, important info about your campaign, key accomplishments. Last year we were able to feed 60,000 people. This year, we're looking to double that, right? Very impactful, and also sharing the work that you do and what you're trying to accomplish this year. So after you have set a focus to your campaign, you've created a goal, you have a clear message defined, you want to start building your timeline. You want to build your priorities to help uh, guide you through a fall timeline and set benchmarks for yourself each month so you can also track your process. If you are fortunate enough to have a team around you giving responsibilities, because a lot of the time, this work can kind of rapid fire and become a lot. If you wait until November to start doing it. So really delegating some of the tasks, whether that is, putting a list together of all the donors that you want to reach out to, or a segment of those donors, your email communication, etc. So here is a timeline example that I would recommend to consider or think through. So for July and August, the reason why we're starting so early for some is you want to utilize this time to plan and campaign setup and think about the story that you want to tell and gather the assets that you may need. Maybe that's pulling a list of this is the story one we want to tell. In order to tell it, maybe it would be great if we had video testimonials, if we received photos, we had some testimonial quotes, putting a list down of exactly what are all of those assets that you're going to need so that your campaign is going to be as most impactful as possible. For September and October, this could be a great opportunity to secure matches, recruit ambassadors or any supporters for your campaign, and also start your donor communication about your Giving Tuesday campaign. November, you're going to launch teasers and build excitement as well as donor communication. And then on Giving Tuesday, go live with a clear ask and updates on your campaign. We also have within our toolkit, our Giving Tuesday nonprofit toolkit, we have a whole checklist and guide as well that will break down even in more detail some dates that you want, what you should be kind of covering at that time. All right, it's time to strategize. So let's talk about a couple of Giving Tuesday strategies that we've seen have been successful in the past or are very commonly used in Giving Tuesday campaigns. And the first one is matching grants. And we'll have a dedicated webinar for matching grants coming up in the fall. But the reason why matching grants are so popular or so common for giving events like Giving Tuesday is, what they're really defined to do, right? So a matching grant is a fundraising tool that's used as a donation incentive. Um, usually what you're doing is you are communicating to donors that by making a gift now during this period or when the match is active, their donation is going to make an even larger impact by your match. And so matching grants are typically provided by a donor, a grantor before your Giving Tuesday event so that you can communicate that information and share that with your donors. And I have on the right side, you'll see just some communication about what that can look like. So on the right side, you see, want to double your donation, help us raise 20,000 before 6 p.m. today to unlock our all or nothing $20,000 match. Don't miss your chance to double your donation in August. Our matching challenge is coming to a close and there's just 1 day left for you to make a match. As you see, these are marketing tools that help motivate your donors to not only give, but to give during this time period, right? There is an urgency within matching grants. And it gives their opportunity to essentially kind of double their money to make their donation go further. So on Mighty Cause, we have a matching grants tool that it can accommodate different types of matches, which I'll kind of break down a little bit right here. So the most common type of match that you've probably seen is dollar for dollar. If you donate $20, that is going to be matched $20. So your $20 donation is essentially a $40 donation. There is a percentage match. Sometimes that can be even doubled by 200%, or just 50%. So if you want that donation to be matched larger, you can create that as well. And a cumulative threshold match. So donations that are matched when you meet a specific fundraising goal. So maybe it's not, if you donate $20, that's going to be matched 100% to be one-to-one. Maybe that's, we need to raise together $1,000 for us to unlock a $20,000 gift. So as we see here, with the KMFA post that they did, they said an all or nothing 20K matching grant. So in order for your organization to receive 20,000, you're looking to collectively fundraise 20,000. So that's a cumulative threshold match. And there's also quantity of donations and number of donors. So that could be, we are looking to, if we receive 60 donations, we get a $2,000 match. If we receive 50 donors, we receive a $10,000 match, whatever you want that to be. As I mentioned, we have a webinar that's dedicated to matching grants, where we'll break down exactly, based off your goals, what you're trying to accomplish, what match might be most effective for what you're trying to do. So why are matching grants? We talked a little bit about this, but why would a donor or a grantor want to participate? As I mentioned, for donors, everyone wants to get more for their money, and this is their opportunity to donate and get more for their donation. They're maximizing their donation dollars. For a grantor, this could be a major donor or a board member. It's their opportunity to also make their dollar go even further. If you have a major donor that writes you a check every year for $1,000, by being a grantor, essentially their $1,000 goes even further. It helps your nonprofit, raise $2,000 essentially with their $1,000. So when you're thinking about reaching out or who to reach out to, for a matching grant, I think it's great to first think about who would be good prospective sponsors for a matching grant. Sharing that opportunity with them, and providing them, key reasons as to why it would be so effective. And one of them being, it is a different way that they can help support your organization that can make a lasting impact. For businesses, if you're reaching out to businesses or local community groups, etc., this is also their opportunity to share their organization, their logo, and also share their philanthropic initiatives in your community. So there's really 3 steps in terms of this opportunity, and that's prospect, outreach, and ask. So who could provide a match, which could be a board member, major donor. As I said, it can be anyone, but those are the most common. Though it's going to be individuals who have a strong giving history or want to make a strong impact for your cause or mission. Your outreach of explaining them what Giving Tuesday is about and how it can be impactful. And then making your ask and seeing if they're interested in providing a match. I'm going to pause here just for any questions that I missed. I see a little bit about teasers. We can talk about that at the end, in terms of communication, because we talk more about communications a little bit further. What if you only have a few donors, or how do I get a list of donors? Yeah, so I think in terms of, I'll save that question at the end, because I think there's a lot we can get through for that at the end. And I also think some of the communications will be helpful to get through. Just quick question before I go through. I'm confused at how Mighty Cause and Give Minnesota are connected. So Mighty Cause is the technology provider for GiveMinnesota.org. So if you utilize Give Minnesota, Mighty Cause is the technology provider for that. Could you ask a corporate supporter or focus on individuals for match? You can absolutely ask a corporate supporter, and those are great organizations or great people to ask to support. Because as I mentioned, if you're talking about corporation or a business that maybe you've done work with or you have a connection with, for them, this is their opportunity to shine a light that look at this corporate initiative that we're doing. There are a lot of companies that are looking for those opportunities. It's also their opportunity to do something in their community and share that. And also, when you have them as a grantor, you can share their logo and share that they're providing this opportunity in your social posts, etc. So it's a benefit to them as well. So yeah, I definitely would recommend to reach out to any corporate supporters that you think you can reach out to. So another common fundraising strategy during Giving Tuesday, which we will also have a dedicated webinar on, I believe in August, we'll have this one, is peer-to-peer fundraising. So for those of you who are not familiar with peer-to-peer fundraising, it's essentially the idea of asking a supporter of yours to fundraise on behalf of your organization. And why is that so helpful or makes a large impact or such a popular type of fundraising strategy? Because as you see in this graphic, right, when you reach out to a supporter and you say, hey, can you fundraise on behalf of Mighty Cause Foundation, right? If I'm the supporter, maybe I'm a board member, I'm a volunteer, I'm going to then send my fundraiser to my friends and family. I'm going to send it to my coworkers, to my maybe church members, synagogue members, mosque members, etc. And I'm going to tell them, hey, I'm fundraising on behalf of Mighty Cause Foundation. I'm fundraising because, you know, I needed their support. I'm a alumni of their, program. They've done X, Y, and Z. I believe in their cause. You name why exactly your cause is important to them. And if you can support Cause for Giving Tuesday, they're trying to raise $10,000. If you can make a cause for a donation, thank you so much. Right. So why is this so helpful? Because you're then reaching a network of people you would not have been able to reach before. I always share the story, but my sister had a friend from graduate school who had started a brand new nonprofit. And she had just asked her group of friends, hey, can you share this fundraiser with your family and friends, with your network of people? We're a brand new nonprofit. This is what we're doing, X, Y, and Z. And my sister then was able to communicate that to me and say, hey, I have a friend from graduate school who she started this nonprofit where they're building a school in Kenya. They need funds to actually start the development work for the school. Check out their organization, but I really like her. I think it's a great cause, and I made a donation. And so that's why peer-to-peer fundraising is so powerful. Otherwise, I didn't have that connection with her, and she would not have received that donation from me. So why would supporters be interested in peer-to-peer fundraising? It's an opportunity to deepen your relationship with the organization. Again, if you have a set goal, as we talked about for the beginning, we are trying to raise $10,000. If we have 10 people raise $1,000, we're going to be able to reach our goal, which at the end of the day is giving $10,000 meals for people in our community, right? So that's why having those goals are so important, or that breakdown of what is your focus area, is because whatever strategy you're trying to implement, you can utilize those stats and that communication to communicate why this strategy is important and why is it effective and why you should participate in a matching grant or participate in peer-to-peer fundraising. It's another way for supporters, for an easy, fun way to participate. And I'll kind of show I think I have an example in this one of, peer-to-peer fundraising campaigns. It's a non-monetary ask. And as I mentioned, it's an opportunity to share your story and why your cause or mission is important to them. So here are a couple examples of just common peer-to-peer campaigns that you will see. So charity walk or marathon, that's one of the most common or popular types of peer-to-peer campaigns that you probably have seen. A birthday fundraiser, um, giving events, board challenges. That's a really type of common peer-to-peer campaign we've seen where board members come together and they will have a challenge and fundraise for their cause. I think peer-to-peer fundraising is a really great way to get board members involved. If your organization kind of has certain standards of what board members are trying to raise or participate in, this could be a commitment that they could help provide in. And you can also give them a specific role. Maybe it's not peer-to-peer fundraising directly, maybe it's soliciting donation from personal contacts, hosting event, reaching out to major donors, giving a match. I think having your board members involved is a really great way to help with your Giving Tuesday campaign strategy and also get them more involved in your organization overall. So on the Mighty Cause platform, as again, we have a whole peer-to-peer webinar, which we'll go through peer-to-peer in detail, but we have 3 different types of fundraising pages that can help with peer-to-peer fundraising. So on the left-hand side, you see this is our event fundraising page. So this is if you want to host multiple people and teams. And then on the top right, you see kindergarten team. That's our team fundraising page. And within the team, you have a student, so their individual fundraising page. So as you see, they can all work together if you would like to, where you can have a large event as this school readathon. This readathon has different teams that are composed of each class that's raising money, and they're competing against each other. And then within each class, each student has their own page where they can share with their friends and family to come support them. So just a couple examples of different peer-to-peer campaigns to kind of get you brainstorming or thinking about this. This is the Wild Pants by the Arc of Palm Beach County. I love their peer-to-peer campaign because it's something different and interesting and fun. They host this Wild Pants fashion show that is like the accumulation of their campaign. They have these individual fundraising pages where people show off their wild pants, and these are the pants that everyone's going to wear or that they're going to wear during the fashion show. So this is a way, again, people can support their family or friends and also give a donation to maybe someone who they're like, hey, I love their pants. That's funny, or I want to see that on the fashion show. This is an example of a board challenge, a team page, again, where all the board members, they have their own fundraising page, and then they have a collective team page where they can keep track of their goal or send supporters there to donate to their cause. So on Mighty Cause, I also just kind of want to share this in addition to peer-to-peer fundraising and matching grants, by when you register for Giving Tuesday, as I mentioned in the beginning, you'll have access to all of our fundraising tools on the platform. So some of them I just kind of want to share in how you can utilize them for your Giving Tuesday campaign and how that can be impactful. I talked a little bit about at the beginning our opportunities tool, which you can share different events or volunteer opportunities, and this could be a great way to engage with supporters. Embeddable donation forms. So if someone goes to your website to make a Giving Tuesday donation, there's a direct form on your website, so they're not taken anywhere else. Text to give. So with text to give, you can create a keyword such as, let's say, Mighty 2025. And then users or supporters can text that keyword and they'll be sent your campaign immediately to give a donation. And so that's great if you have a live event. We also have our contact CRM tool where you can track Giving Tuesday donors. You can send direct messages or group messages. You can add key notes such as I need to follow up with them, or they said that they're interested in being a matching grantor, etc. And as well as integrations with Google Analytics and Zapier. And so for Google Analytics, you can track your campaign performance. You can see okay, well, we received X amount of donations. How many people actually came to the site? And maybe they didn't give, but they came onto the site. And Zapier is a third-party platform that allows you to set up integrations with other platforms. So, for example, if you use QuickBooks Online, you could set up an integration where donation information from Mighty Cause goes into your QuickBooks Online account automatically. They have thousands of apps. You can go on Zapier.com to take a look and see if there's any automations or that would make your life much easier for your Giving Tuesday campaign. All right, I'm going to pause here just for any questions. Um, we participated, we have been part of Give Big with Mighty Cause via United Way to participate in Giving Tuesday. Do then we need our Give Min. No, so Give Min is a giving event that is specifically in Minnesota that we provide the technology for. They're their own event. What I was sharing in the beginning is that if you participate in a giving event where Mighty Cause is the technology provider and they have a specific Giving Tuesday event, you don't need to register for ours. And again, this is kind of specific to people who have participated or are interested in participating in a giving event that Mighty Cause is the technology provider for. Will we receive a recording of this presentation? Yes. I'll send a follow-up email with the recording and the slide deck. All right, so spreading the word, so content planning. So you want to plan and create enough content to keep your promotions and appeals fresh. Again, this is where planning now and setting up what is going to be your message, what's going to be your focus area, is helpful in terms of figuring out what exact content do you need. So you want to choose a campaign story or theme that you think you can approach with enough angles and use it for multiple appeals over the span of a couple of weeks potentially. Videos is also a great communication tool. So you can try to get, if you know you have an event coming up right now, you can try to get video of it so that you can utilize it for your Giving Tuesday campaign. And I'll talk about some free resources that you can utilize to make some easy short videos. Images, so having a library of images that you can go to and utilize for your campaign, and as well infographics. So if there's any stats or powerful information you can share for Giving Tuesday, those are a couple of key good communication aspects that you can utilize for your campaign. And a couple of easy communication tips. So always include a clear call to action of what you are asking donors or supporters to do. If you have an email to make a donation while there's a match, give now, give today, fundraise today if you're asking them to fundraise peer to peer. And you want to keep it short and simple. And that's why I love that exercise that we did before, keeping your message short and simple, but include some of those statistics that we talked about for previously. And you also want to segment your audience. So maybe the people, your major donors are going to have one set of language. The people who gave last year, you want to have a dedicated email for those, maybe different than the email that you send to everyone else. The email that to people that donated last year is maybe a little bit like, hey, you gave last year because of your donation, we were able to do X, Y, and Z. This year, this is our goal. This is what we're trying to do. Can you help us with this goal again? So the language can be slightly different depending on the segment of people that you're reaching out to. I talked a little bit about a cleared call to action, making sure that in your communication that it's hyperlinked, or you have a direct link of where people can go. And you want to keep it cohesive. So 2 to 3 ideas about the work that you do and present that in your communications. As you see here in kind of the examples I shared, using your colors, a recurring theme, a graphic that represents your nonprofit. Social media and Giving Tuesday. So yeah, Giving Tuesday, you'll often see hashtag Giving Tuesday. Sometimes it's just Giving Tuesday, sometimes hashtag Giving Tuesday. It is a day that was built on social media there's a hashtag in the name for a reason. It is a day that's built to be cohesive and community-like. And so using that hashtag in your social posts, and sharing that and showing, your community and on social media exactly what you're doing, and kind of the impact that you're making. Um, yeah, I see a chat. Please try using your local community centers for video creation. Research who does your public access in your town. Um, that is a great tip. Local libraries also have a lot of great resources that sometimes people don't realize that they have. Sometimes they access to free software, or video tools, etc. Some useful marketing tools that you can utilize for your Giving Tuesday campaign. MailChimp is a free email marketing tool. So if you don't have an email marketing tool and you want to try something out, you can try MailChimp. As I mentioned on Mighty Cause, we also have our CRM system called Contacts, where you can send messages to your supporters. But if you want a dedicated email marketing tool, MailChimp is a free one. Canva, of course, is a really great asset. If you are a 501c3 nonprofit, you can get access to a free Canva account, and there are free templates that you can utilize there. If you have Instagram, Linktree is also a free tool that you can use where it can put all of your links into one area. And so that's a great asset to add to your Instagram bio so that if you have, maybe a link to your website, a link to your fundraising page, and a link to, your programs page, etc., you can add all those links there. Unsplash is royalty-free stock photos that you can utilize. CapCut also has a free plan that you can use to edit any reel stories or TikTok videos. And Buffer, as well as a free social media schedule and planner, so you can schedule out posts. And I see Paxels has a good free photos too. That's a great tip. So this is an example I've just took, I think, of a good social media post that I think effectively kind of talks through really everything that we've talked about in this webinar. So their graphic is, you can see in the background, it's of water. Last chance, max 2x the impact for oceans this Giving Tuesday. So it has the urgency there. This is the last chance. Make 2x, so we can assume that they have a match going on. And impact for oceans. They're telling us what the impact is going to be. And their description says, time is running out to participate in the biggest day to give back to the oceans. Donate to Oceana today and take a stand against harmful plastic pollution, dirty offshore drilling, irresponsible fishing, and other dangerous threats to our planet's oceans. All gifts before midnight will be matched by our partner. So very clear, very short and easy of exactly what they're trying to do and the urgency of the donation and, the match that they have going on. This is a video example. Let me know if you...
Hey, my name's Eric.
Can you hear this? Let me know if you do not hear this. Sometimes the audio does not share. Okay, perfect.
And I know we don't know each other, but I need your help. So once upon a time, I had a sister named Muriel who was diagnosed with osteosarcoma or bone cancer. Unfortunately, Muriel found out that the cancer was terminal, but instead of moping around, she wanted to do one last good deed before she died. So during her last Christmas, Muriel asked friends and family to donate toys to her, and she stuffed some stockings and sent it to Johns Hopkins Children's Hospital. She wanted to do this because she knew all too well how much it sucked to be a kid in the hospital during the holidays, and she wanted to give these kids a reason to smile one last time. Sadly, we lost her that following February in 2014. In her memory, my family created a charity known as Muriel's Miracle Holiday Stockings. Every December, we get together with a bunch of volunteers and we donate all kinds of good things to local children's hospitals. But due to COVID, we haven't really had many volunteers in the last year or so. That's where you come in. So there's a couple ways you can help us whether you have money or not. If you'd like to donate stocking stuffers, you can check out our wish list on Amazon. It's under Muriel's Miracle. Or you could fill stockings and send it to your local children's hospital in Muriel's honor. You could also send a monetary donation. Or you could simply use your word of mouth and boost this video. Duet this, comment, like, anything helps. We donate to kids of all kinds, 0 to 18, boy, girl, neutral, you name it. Links to the Amazon wish list and the official Facebook page can be found in my link tree. And if you're able to help us this season, I greatly appreciate it. And thank you for helping me keep my sister's spirit alive.
Awesome. Yeah, I really love that video because I think it's a great example of how you don't need anything fancy, you can create a short video that's super impactful in sharing your story. And as you saw in the video, she also gives clear action items. She shares what their organization is about, um, what their goal is and how you can help. And that was all under 2 minutes. Um, so just to kind of give you guys brainstorming about exactly, the type of assets that you can create for your campaign. So last section is closing the loop. And I just want to bring this up so that this might be something that you might forget about as you're planning your Giving Tuesday campaign, but something just to keep kind of in the back of your mind to remember. So the importance of Giving Tuesday follow-up, because you spend so much time focusing on your Giving Tuesday campaign, it's really easy to then just forget, okay, after Giving Tuesday's done, we're done, or we're done, we don't have to do anything work. And it's quite the opposite. Giving Tuesday donors are also more likely to give year end or in 2026. It provides creating a follow-up also provides closure for donors and keeps donors engaged. And it's your opportunity to kind of reintroduce yourself and start that relationship with that donor. Um, it's your opportunity to share, hey, this is what we accomplished because of you for our Giving Tuesday campaign. We're excited to share updates in 2026 about everything that, we're starting to create or build, etc. So how to follow up? This can be an email, so report on your results from Giving Tuesday, thanking donors for helping, how much you raised, and reinforcing how you will be utilizing those funds. You can also call and save for key groups of donors and ask for volunteer help. Social media report on your results, share an engaging thank you video. And letter, I think also snail mail is still matters and sending a letter, a thank you card, welcome packet. I volunteered for an organization, and what we did was we actually just divvied up a list of donors that made a donation of over $100. Everyone had a list of donors, and with our list we wrote thank you notes to them and mailed them out, and so that was a way that we kind of divided and conquered that follow-up process. And end of year planning. So you want to plan how you're going to transition Giving Tuesday into end of year. The last week of December is one of also the most important giving days in the year. So how this campaign you will kind of shift this to the language that you want to share year end. And maybe it's the same talking points, but how is that going to flow together? And you want to send specific follow-up emails for your Giving Tuesday donors during end of year giving season. All right, we are at the end. I want to save time for some questions or follow-ups, but some save the dates as a reminder. So today registration is open. So you can head to givingtuesday.mightycause.com. November 18th is when our early giving opens, and we'll have communication about that throughout the next couple of months. And then it all goes to Tuesday, December 2nd, Giving Tuesday. So next steps, we will send a follow-up email with a recording and the slide deck, as well a link to register in the follow-up email. If you want to learn more about Mighty Cause, or you want to let us know what other topics it's going to be helpful for a future webinar, if you could fill out our webinar survey, it will pop up after this webinar ends through Zoom. Register for Giving Tuesday and then sign up for our next webinar. We have a whole list of webinars coming up, so check out our webinar list to get registered. All right, so jump into any questions that we have. When do you suggest we start put out info to donors about Giving Tuesday? I think you can start doing that in the fall. I would say October is probably a great time to start putting out communication that's Giving Tuesday specific. Some people have started in September, but I think October is a appropriate time to start with that communication. Do you recommend sign up through our regional partner like Give Big or directly with Mighty Cause? So I don't have the list in front of me, but I would confirm if the local giving event that you typically participate in has a dedicated Giving Tuesday event. If they have a dedicated Giving Tuesday event, you want to participate with them. If they don't, then you can participate with us. Um, I can look that up for you, Scott, and follow up with you and let you know. I don't have the list in front of me of which ones have dedicated Giving Tuesday events. Can you please explain teasers and how small nonprofits may get into that? Yeah, so teasers in terms of kind of setting the stage for your Giving Tuesday campaign and uh setting November 18th is the early giving date. And so that can be incorporating maybe a story that you have. I've seen animal organization. They had their theme for their campaign was they were sharing the story of these two pandas that they rescued. And so in all of their communication, they kind of shared their story of how they were rescued. And so that was their way of kind of teasing it all to Giving Tuesday by sharing tidbits of that story in their communication and all of that accumulating to Giving Tuesday. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. Sorry if you're getting this question twice. I previously sent it via Q&A on Zoom. Sorry, I haven't looked at the questions yet. You mentioned the embeddable donation form as a way to capture Giving Tuesday donations. If we already utilize embedded donation form, this tool your listing doesn't do anything different, right? Correct. So it it's the same tool, but if you want to utilize it for Giving Tuesday on Mighty Cause, I would recommend um s- switching out or adding wherever you want. I don't know where you want to add your Giving Tuesday. If you want a Giving Tuesday donation form because you're participating in Giving Tuesday for Mighty Cause, you'd either want to switch it out or add it to another place. The reason I say this is because donations that you receive through givingtuesday.mightycause.com, it will count towards Giving Tuesday prizes. So any donations you start receiving November 18th on givingtuesday.mightycause.com will count towards any prizes that we have. So if you want donations to count towards prizes, you'd want to get the form the same way you would do on mightycause.com, but then add that to your site or somewhere else. If you don't care that if it's added, to givingtuesday.mightycause.com, you don't need to do that. But if you want it to count towards your givingtuesday.mightycause.com leaderboard totals or prizes. I'm going to get to the questions tool. Um, are we able to use the same? Okay, we have the citywide Give for Good Louisville in September that is powered by Mighty Cause. Are we able to use the same account to participate as Giving Tuesday as well, or would this be separate members account that we'd have to create because it is a different giving day? So it would essentially be the same account, but you would use a different URL. You would not use I don't have the URL on the top of my head for Give for Good, but let's say it's giveforgood .com or .org. Instead of using /organization/ your cause, it would be givingtuesday.mightycause.com. So it would be a different URL, but essentially the same account. But I can also, with you, August, kind of follow up in terms of if Give for Good, what their Giving Tuesday plans are. When will we get a copy of this presentation with audio? That will be sent sometime tomorrow. Is there another sponsoring organization that hosts a Giving Tuesday platform in the St. Louis area? If not, is there a fee to use Mighty Cause for nonprofits who are in the area that do not have a local platform? So I'm not familiar. I don't know off the top of my head any other St. Louis giving platforms or giving event campaigns. But there is no fee to register for our event. So it is completely free to register and participate. We do have a transaction fee on our platform that donors can choose to cover, and we also have a pricing guarantee as well that your fees won't go over a certain amount. So all we have is a transaction fee. There's no subscription fee. Um, we are a dog rescue. What would you think has the most impact to donors? Focusing more on sad stories of abused or starved dogs to pull on the heartstrings, or big win stories, successes, and looking more at the happiness of being with their new families. Um, that's a good question because I have seen both. I sometimes feel that animal organizations, they have a leg up because you have really good photos and really good ways of pulling heartstrings on people. I have seen both. Um, I think, sorry, I'm just rereading your question. Um, I could see both, but I've seen organizations utilize both. So when they're talking about the rescue efforts, they will show kind of the beginning of the dog's journey where they are starved or abused, etc., wherever they came from, and how that organization was able to rehabilitate that animal, and kind of show again the impact of what donations have done. So I have seen both, but I think it is impactful to kind of see the story and see again the impact of what your nonprofit does. If they see before and after photo, that's pretty powerful. Can you share ideas of who to reach out to for a matching gift? Yeah, so a matching gift, I mean, essentially it can be anyone. The most common type of matching grantors are going to be major grantors. So as I mentioned, if there's someone that does make a large gift to your organization annually, or if there's someone that, you have certain connections with that would be able to make a larger donation, that would be helpful. And also, when I say larger donation, that is very subjective to the nonprofit. For some, $5,000 is nothing. They're looking for $50,000 matches. For other nonprofits, $5,000 is their dream match. So it could even be $1,000, right? It's going to be subjective to your organization. But so major donors, your board members. So something your board members can do is they can pool in funds and offer a match. I've seen that a lot where board members are providing a match. It could be just one individually, or they're pooling funds together and it's coming from the collective board. As I mentioned, your local businesses or organizations. So those are a couple of different kind of avenues to go down. Okay, I don't see any other questions come through. So as I mentioned, if I missed a question, let me know, but I will send a follow-up email with all those things that we talked about. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. You can reach out to support@mightycause.com. If you need any help with registration, if you're struggling with anything, please reach out there. And yeah, I'm excited to kind of start this Giving Tuesday journey. Oh, I should add one other thing. Um, I'll mention this in other webinars as well, but please for your Giving Tuesday campaigns, or as you start building your assets or promoting on social media, please tag us or add us, or we love seeing what nonprofits end up doing. They also help me for great examples of, if I see great examples of what nonprofits are doing. But we love supporting other nonprofits and sharing your posts as well. So feel free to tag us. We will repost them. That's great. To register for Giving Tuesday, I'm going to share that again. GivingTuesday.mightycause.com.